the Jonathan Ross Show. Let's start, as we always do. Let's have a look at who's in my green room for you tonight. My first guest is stars of the biggest entertainment show on TV right now. And I only like saying that because I know how much it winds up Simon Cowell. From Strictly, it's Shirley Ballas, Craig Revel-Horwood and Dame Darcy Bussell. Fantastic to have you here. Yeah. Oh. I wonder what we'll find to talk about. Now, alongside them is quite literally a giant of football. He's had an amazing career, scoring over 100 Premier League goals. It's the one and only Peter Crouch, ladies and gentlemen. Along with them, I am thrilled to have on the show one of the very best stand-ups in the country with us tonight, the brilliantly funny Joe Lycett. And I'm super excited. We've got someone who's not only a BAFTA-winning actress, she's also a brilliant writer, poet and singer. She can do it all. It's the fabulous Michaela Coel. Hey, Michaela. I love you too again. Thank you for coming in. And finally, we've got some great music for you at the end of the show. One of my favourite singer-songwriters. I'm a genuine fan. This is his third time on the show. I'm delighted he's back. The incredibly talented Tom O'Dell. Hey, Tom. Doing the rock and roll, dressing down look right there. OK, so before we get to that, we start this week with a lovely good news story about Britain's tallest man, OK? No. Peter, you're just a shrimp compared to this guy. His name is Paul Sturgis, and he's an impressive 7 feet 7 inches tall, OK? Look at that. I mean, the bloke next to him, he's a 6-footer, right there. He's so tall, Paul used to play for the Harlem Globetrotters. He had to stop after injuring his back, leaning down to put the ball in the net. Now, there are a lot of advantages to being tall, of course, but if you're a whopping 7'7", you try to find a nice suit to fit you. Or even an awful suit, like the one Craig Revel-Horwood's wearing tonight. I mean, it's impossible. But here's the great news this week. This is why the story's nice. At the age of 30, Paul has finally got a 3-piece suit that fits him. And the great thing is, he's the one on the left, by the way, and the lovely bit of tailoring. The thing I find remarkable about this story is it looks like the suit was made for him by Josh Whittaker. Now, we all know that Strictly's back on our screens, although I'm surprised it hasn't been in the papers much. But, of course, to be invited on Strictly is a great honour. It can completely turn a career around. I mean, look at Ed Balls. Everyone loved him after that. He became a huge, lovable celebrity, sort of. But Ed's not the only politician who's been stealing the limelight with killer dance moves. I kind of know where I'm going with this, but before we get to her, Craig, Shirley, Darcy, I want you to judge these dancing politicians. I'm pretty sure they'll all wind up on Strictly eventually. First up is contestant number 1. It's Jezza from Islington. What do you think, guys? Wow! 0 from Dame Darcy. I think we know where she's voting. Let's look at contestant number 2. It's Boris from Oxfordshire.
Getting jiggy with it. Getting jiggy with it. Getting jiggy with it.
I like it when he breaks away from his partner and kind of freestyles it a bit. Guys, what do you give Boris? What? Whoa, -10. Wow.
Oh, dear.
OK. She's obviously Lib Dem. I got it wrong. And finally, the one we've all been waiting for. Here she is. This is Teresa from London. OK. There we go. Why don't we chat about this some more out here on the sofa? Will you please welcome Shirley Ballas, Craig Revel-Horwood and Dame Darcy Bussell. I love the glittery tops, the palms. Craig, you do look amazing. And Darcy. Oh, give me a shimmy. Give me a shimmy. Here we go. Come on. OK, now, I'm going to start with something. I know none of you are medical professionals, but please, can you, someone tell us what is actually wrong with Bruno? I mean, is there nothing we can do to help that poor man? Is some meds or some ketamine or something we can give him?
Yeah. I was hoping, darling, we could do something like that, but not even tablets will fix that.
He is a larger-than-life character. Of course, he couldn't be with us because he's off in America. He does a show over there as well. But is it fun to work with Bruno?
I love it. I mean, he's off to my left and I have to dodge his arms every time. Well,
Yeah.
we both have to dodge them.
I think you get half of it. But I've never worked with him before except for Strictly, and I heard about him and his enthusiasm and his joy and his passion for the dance. That's just what he's like all the time.
So he's like that off-camera as well?
All the time.
God, that must be irritating, though, isn't it, Craig?
It is on tour. Absolutely irritating, and I've had it in my contract that I'm the furthest away from him.
Now, who do you think? Can you give us a clue as to who you think might win this year? Or do you prefer not to hazard a guess?
Well, there's a great handful of them that could all win, actually.
The level is pretty even, I think, isn't it?
Well, no, I don't think so, actually.
I think it's pretty good. Everybody has their
You
journey
might
and
be
story.
head judge, darling, but I still have an opinion. And in my opinion, I think Faye is fantastic.
Faye
and
Tozer,
Giovanni,
yeah.
absolutely, because I think she really commits to every single dance she does.
But there are other people that are coming up and improving weekly.
I agree.
Not great from the beginning,
Yeah.
but they're improving steadily. I couldn't call it at the moment because
No,
I think...
definitely not.
I think it's a very open competition.
And Craig, of course, I mean, you know what you're talking about, and the audience often disagrees with you, even when you've just made a point about the dancing. And you've kind of evolved into or been cast as sort of almost a pantomime villain on the show, haven't you?
No. So everything I say is the truth, actually. It just sounds bad because I'm telling them all the negative things,
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, I am one for, you know, coming across as, you know, very direct and honest, but also I will equally say how wonderful that dance is
Yes.
if they have earned that. But
Yeah.
I'm up there and I've got 10 seconds in which to speak, and I think it's really important that the information that they get from each one of us goes through towards the next week. I think that's really important, that they know what's wrong. I wouldn't like anybody coming up to me and saying, oh, you are absolutely fantastic, darling, keep doing what you're doing, when clearly you're terrible.
Even though I'm not in the competition, I didn't like the way you said that to me. I mean, it was quite hurtful. Darcy, since the last time you won, of course, this is the period that you became a dame.
Yes.
Yeah, so amazing. Congratulations.
No, thank you.
Now, that must be... I mean, it's a huge honour. Were you nervous before the ceremony?
I was terrified. It's funny, I've met the Queen a couple of times and she's seen me perform and I've met her after the shows and things like that. But this is a total different thing. Just the whole build-up and the whole preparation and the rehearsals.
So what's the rehearsal for, though? Just to show you where to walk and...
Well, the whole coming in, because with damehood, it's all different. You know, how it's put on and what to expect and how to walk away and what's going to be said and what isn't going to be said.
What should I expect, darling, when I get home?
I can Dame Craig Revel Horwood.
It's got a ring, darling, it's got a ring.
He's been called a dame for a while, you know.
Who did you get to give it to? Because it's different members of the royal family.
Yes, you're right. No, I only found out on the day, and it was the Queen.
Oh, you see, bingo. That's what you want.
It's amazing, isn't it? And
You
she
don't
does...
want the other ones, because that's like... I got OBE from Prince Charles. It's rubbish. I'll be honest with you. It's like a consolation prize.
Queen does a wonderful thing. Can I demonstrate?
Please do.
So
Am I kneeling or what am I doing?
No,
on
you're
stage?
standing, and she asks the question, and you reply, and she shakes your hand, and she does that.
And pushes your way.
Yes, time to
Wow.
go. Time to
Wow.
go. Next one. It's really clever.
I'll show you what Charles does.
So that you
I'll
don't
show you-
overtalk, because you're so nervous. You're so nervous.
Charles goes, please help me, I'm never going to be king. Like that. And then you have to talk him down off the legs. Poor man. OK, so, you know what, I have to ask you the big question this week. The big news story from Strictly. You know what I'm going to ask you about? It was when Bruno fell off his chair. Let's just have a look at the clip and remind ourselves of this moment.
Sharper kicks on the Charleston sections. They need to be really, really crisp. There was a lot...
Bruno just fell off his chair. Are you all right, my darling?
I'm sorry, Craig.
He was disagreeing with Craig.
I mean, Craig,
It's like really here.
Did he do that? Do you think he did that on purpose because you
Oh,
were
no,
in
he
your thing
didn't,
to
he
sort of
fell.
steal your thunder, or was that a genuine slip-off?
I was sitting
I
next
think
to
he
him.
did.
He genuinely fell off his chair.
I think he did it on purpose to
No,
try and
no,
upstage
no,
me.
no,
Every time I
no,
open my
no.
mouth, if I take a breath, darling, something happens over the
No,
other end.
I think he moved to turn and he slipped, and I think he hurt himself too. So I believe he
He's been
genuinely
very
fell.
brave.
So there's a silver lining for you, Craig.
Yeah, sorry about that.
What I was going to ask, of course, is, and this is what's been about, is the so-called curse of Strictly. OK, and this is something which has dogged the show, and it's also, in a way, made it more fascinating for all of us. Couples are thrown together and they dance, and then sometimes things happen outside of the show.
Well, I think of it as a blessing, actually. To be honest, I really do. I mean, when you think of the success stories, you know, obviously the point you're making in question is very, very different because one person is married, the other one had a girlfriend. But my point in this entire thing is if you come on Strictly, sometimes you are in a relationship, of course, that is not working anyway. And people, I have noticed, that if they are in love or are married, end up, you know, being absolutely faithful to one another because of that love. But, and it doesn't mean that you're going to fall in love with your dancer, does it? At any given
We're
point
not
in time.
necessarily talking about love here,
Yeah, but I
though.
mean,
I
don't
don't-
forget they're actors, aren't they? I mean, it's like me falling in love with
actors.
Darcy.
Oh, I love you.
I love you too, but I mean, I'd
but,
still have to
I mean,
live.
I danced for over 20 years in the Royal Ballet, and I'm still happily married.
But ballet's different, isn't it? Because
No,
ballet...
it's not,
you
No, you're
darling.
still-
It's not. Oh,
You're
no.
acting.
You're not getting...
No. If anything,
You know, you're more...
you haven't
You're only
seen
there for a
lot of
second. You're
ballet.
passing through. It's like, whee, she's gone. But these guys, you know, Latin, it's all hips and contact,
No,
isn't
darling,
it?
I was married twice and it was disastrous both times in my industry.
But both
so-
times dancers, wasn't it?
Yes.
So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you have to understand it can happen in any industry.
It can,
You
but
know,
it
you
happens
could-
on
you could go
Strictly
to-
more than any other show.
It's only because it's public. If you're at your Christmas party and you snog the boss, for instance, you'd still have to do the walk of shame on the Monday.
But you know
it's
what?
not only
But
on
Craig,
Strictly.
Craig, listen. You do seem to be... I guess there's more chance of it happening, is there not, on a show like this when people are working in intense environment together. They're together for many hours of the day, and there's physical contact, of course, and they're away from the realities of life outside, to an extent. And it does seem to me like it feels like it is a breeding ground.
I don't agree. Sorry.
Breeding ground.
I mean, your show is just filth. Let's be honest.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
No,
But you
yes,
know what,
you're right.
it is-
You're right in a way that you are up close and personal
Yeah.
with that person.
Yes.
But there has to be something wrong in your relationship before it all goes awry
But Craig,
anyway.
well, without wishing to get too specific here, most men, we know a lot of men, most men are idiots.
I'm not most men, though, darling.
You
am
are,
I? Let's
you are
face it.
certainly not. Well, let me ask you very specific about this then. Could you tell with Sean and Katia, could you tell there anything? Because I noticed last week there was a massive improvement in their dance.
Yeah.
Which was a wonderful thing to see.
Choreographically,
Yeah, there was. But I would not put that down to a snog at the back of a pub, if that's what you're asking. Because
That's not
I would
what I'm
say
asking,
that
Craig, but please
you're...
continue.
No,
What would you put it down to, then?
I would put it down to hard work and having to act through the dance and tell that story. You know, there are people in porn, for instance, that have to act from here up, don't they? You know, the cutaway shots, they're not really doing
mean,
it. We all know
you're-
that.
Are they?
no,
No,
you
darling.
have to
I've never
concentrate.
been on a shoot.
No.
Oh, darling.
I mean,
Hold on, I want to hear what
Oh,
Darcy
really?
has to say about porn actors. Darcy. You were keen to drop in.
I know nothing about porn, sorry.
Well, they're not really doing it. are
Okay, thanks. But, no, I mean, honestly, they have a week to get a piece of choreography down,
Yes, tough.
pat, to remember each step, every technical thing that's asked of them. I mean, musically, I mean, they get into the studio, what, Thursday or something, to rehearse with the live band and everything. There is just no way they have a chance to get too romantic when you've got so much to think about.
And so then you go for a drink afterwards, and then you get romantic. We were talking earlier, and Craig
Anyway.
said, in a way, you regretted the fact that they changed the dance they were going to do this week, because they were going to do a kind of passionate dance, weren't they?
Yeah.
And the producers of the BBC have said, no, we want a different dance. I think they're now dancing with a sheet in between them or something.
I think we might remove the sheet though this week.
But
they're
you
doing
wanted
a
to see,
dance
you
of-
wanted to see the
No,
passion.
I wanted to see the, you know, the rumba, the dance of love. I'm sure everyone wants to see that. But I mean, that's one of my favourite dances as well, you know.
Yeah.
And you would have to, you still have to act through it.
Yeah.
You know, but they're doing a Charleston this week,
Yeah.
which is great fun.
Du-
But
du- du- du-
it's very
du-
splashy,
yeah.
very sort of jazz hand-ish.
Was it a correct decision to leave them in the show? There was some talk, and some of the papers said the BBC should have kicked them out, which seemed an extreme reaction to me. But what was your take on that?
My take is keep them in the show. Make them do the dance of shame, if you like. Because only because...
I hope that's how Tess is going to introduce it this
Well,
week.
no, I'm just saying that I think it's really important that people, if this does happen to you, that you face up to it and you either, as they've done, apologise, which is absolutely fine,
Yeah.
but get on with the job and show people what you're made of.
Absolutely.
And show people that, OK, this is what I did. I've been employed to do this job. I'm going to go on, do the job, get on with it, and I'm going to do it well and do it professionally.
Yeah, that is so the correct decision, absolutely. OK. Do you think it's inevitable that, regardless of the quality of their dance, that the public are probably going to vote them out in tomorrow's show?
Well, I don't know. The public might go one of two ways. The other way, of course, is to keep them in, to watch what happens.
Yes.
There is, of course,
It's like
that.
a soap opera in itself.
So we get to see the dance you want to see. What was it? The porn dance? What did you say? The rumba. The dance of... Yeah.
Love.
Rumba. The rumba.
The vertical expression of a horizontal desire.
Wow.
Wow.
Shirley, am I wrong, or did we just have a moment? Look, lovely to have you here. I'm watching the show every week, and you're just all amazing on the show. Thank you so much for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, Shirley, Darcy and Craig Hall. Thank you. Still to come on the show, I'll be chatting to the one and only Peter Crouch. See you after the break. Welcome back to the show. My next guest is one of England's most iconic football players. He's also a very funny man. Before he comes out, let's remind ourselves of him in action. Look at this.
Offside flag stays down, back into ball for Peter Crouch! Crouch! Here's Crouch, 1-1. Crouch. Oh, yes, that's beautifully done. Peter Crouch. Ball to Crouch again. Who scores again?
Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. It's Mr. Peter Crouch. Would you come along a bit for Peter? Okay. We just saw, at the end of that spectacular clip package, we just saw the famous robot dance, which must follow you everywhere. Guys, how would you vote that if he was on Strictly, didn't
We're voting away.
yeah.
Not quite sure, that's true.
Yeah, they're just being kind. Okay. You know, obviously, we've been talking about Strictly. Abby was on Strictly back in 2013, did amazingly well. She won. A great performance. I'm lovely to see her doing that. Were you, knowing in advance that sometimes when people are going, things happen, as we've been discussing, were you concerned? Were you worried? Did you have a chat as couples about that? Well, you know what I'm saying?
I do. I do know. And, yeah, I was apprehensive. And I remember going to the show when the dancers are picked for the celebrities, and I was like, don't get the handsome one. and then Aliash came out. So, yeah, I was a bit disappointed, but, you know, he was great, and fair play to him. He came over to me, and, you know, he loved football, so we got on really well in that way, and they danced beautifully. And I didn't know that Abby had that in her. She was incredible the whole way through the series, and you know, watching
so
her...
you didn't know what do you mean? You mean you didn't know she could dance, or you didn't know she would commit to something and grow as a dancer like that? What do you mean?
Yeah, and I've seen her break dancing in the kitchen after a few wines.
See, that's
but
what we want to see.
I've not seen her, you know, dance so so elegantly.
Yeah.
And, you know, we danced together, but, you know, not quite as good as that. But, you know, she was incredible.
They must have asked you, I'm sure. They must have asked you if you do the show.
Well, I still play football. You know, one day I'm sure I'll give it a go. But I think I'll be the token one that everyone laughs at and then votes off after week 3.
Wow. Your book is out. Peter has a book out. It's a great read, even if you're not necessarily a crazy football fan. Peter Crouch, How to Be a Footballer. It's also been a very successful podcast for you as well, courtesy of the BBC. It's interesting because so much has changed since you, I mean, this is what I got from reading your book, is so much has changed since you entered the sport over the years. So much has changed in what goes on backstage. When I say backstage, I obviously don't know a lot about football. I mean, you know what I mean? In the dressing room. It's changed. What are the biggest changes do you think you've seen?
Well, there's so many changes. Obviously, the money that's come into football now. It's like the changing rooms and the training grounds are like health clubs, and swimming pools, everything's done for you.
I know you say in the book how you miss the fact that you all used to have like a communal bath after the match. That was a traditional thing, and you don't do that anymore?
We don't do it anymore, yeah, and I feel it's a slight shame.
What did you like about it? What do you miss about... What's missing from your life now,
I don't
Peter?
know, I think I look back at '66 when we won the World Cup and all the lads were in the bath and, you know, there was people having beers and they were lifting the trophy and it was like, I don't know, it was a bit like a wet nightclub after a game. No, I just felt like when I first started, we did have them. We had the communal baths, and it was quite fun in a bizarre way.
OK, but what I'm just trying to establish is what was fun about it. What was the most... I mean, what did you... I mean, I'm not being weird. I'm just saying.
Right, I just felt that, like, after a game you've won, you want to be together and you want to celebrate together, and nothing brings you together than a naked bath.
I think he'll fit in perfectly with Strictly.
I mean, is there anything like that in the world of dance?
We had communal showers, after the show,
I used to like that too, actually. I'm with Peter Crouch on that. I'd love to be invited to one of those, darling.
You know what, guys? After the show tonight, let's do it.
Do it.
So when you first enjoyed success, the football, financial success, and also just the acclaim and the fame that came with it, did it go to your head? Did you change? Did you kind of succumb to those kind of, like, you know, the cliches of being a young footballer with money?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. My first car was okay. It was like a Volkswagen Polo, and then I started moving up, and I thought, right, I can upgrade a few times now. And I got to Liverpool, I was playing for England, and I bought myself an Aston Martin. And I thought, right, man now. And I remember driving through Hale Barnes one particular day, and I had the window down, I had the sunglasses on, and I had some Speed Garage playing out the window. And anyway, I was bopping along, and I thought, here, I'm seriously cool.
You were right, yeah.
I'd pull up next to Roy Keane, of all people. And I looked at Roy Keane, and he looked at me, and I just had a realisation that I'm being a twat.
But to have that self-awareness is quite unusual.
And I looked at myself for a little bit, and he got off about 3-4 seconds ago, and I looked at myself in the mirror and thought, oh no. And the next day I inquired about selling the car, and I took a big hit on it, and I've never bought it.
Well, it's a good thing, probably. At home, is Abby a big football fan? Does she follow the matches? Is she keen?
No interest whatsoever.
Wow.
I've been in charge of the music in the dressing room quite a bit, and obviously the phones these days, the music, so I put my phone on the dock in the speaker.
So this is just before a game,
Just before a game, so we're playing music before the game, you know, getting ourselves up for it. And then the music will stop, and I'm like, what's going on? Anyway, so the lads are telling me that my missus is ringing, so Abby's ringing my phone. It's about 5 to 3 on a Saturday, and she's calling me and leaving text messages asking where I am.
OK. There's a quote which I love, which you said when someone asked you what you would be if you weren't a footballer. Do you know what answer I'm after here that you said?
A virgin.
Now, probably not entirely true.
Well, I don't think so. I think I'd like to think I'd have a couple of options.
Yeah. But it is interesting, because what you're saying really is obviously there's a glamour, and being a footballer, you know, you would be attractive to people because of that.
Yeah, I think maybe that's perceived to be the case.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like to think I'd have a couple of options, as I say.
yeah.
But maybe not as beautiful as my wife.
Because sometimes people point out and say, well, you know, she is a very beautiful woman and you're quite an attractive man. And people have pointed out, I mean, people have, which seems mean to me, but they have expressed surprise that you're together.
You did once, I remember.
Did I?
Yeah.
No, did I?
Yeah.
What did I say?
No, I remember you saying, gosh, you've done well there, haven't you? And I said, yeah. No, I remember playing a charity game, and it was a UNICEF game that David Beckham had organised. And I was playing there, and Prince Harry came in, and I was just expecting the formal handshake. And he said, Crouchy. And I said, yeah. And he said, how did you bag Abby? And I was so taken... I had so many things that I wanted to say that I didn't say. And then he walked off.
There was a story going around. Tell me what the story was about Crouchy's having his nachos. This was a phrase which you encountered quite a lot, I believe.
Yeah, something so bizarre that everywhere I went for a while, people were saying to me, oh, are you having your nachos? Do you love your nachos? And it got to a stage where I read about it in the paper, it was on a few websites, and then someone started tweeting me, a group called Crouchy's Having His Nachos.
And didn't someone have it made into a T-shirt?
T-shirts, you know, everywhere I went, this nacho story was following me around, so I got to the bottom of it. And the story went like this, that apparently I was in the cinema, someone had recognised me, and there was a queue for the popcorn and...
For the concessions, for the candies and the...
Yeah, so this is... By the way, this is how the story went. This is not how it actually went.
Yeah.
But I was at the back of the queue and I thought, not having this. Went right to the front of the queue. I said, nachos. And obviously the fella's got, oh, Peter Crouch, yeah, made the nachos. Everyone's fuming behind me. Anyway, so as I've got the nachos, I'm dipping it in and eating the nachos while the queue's
still at the front of the queue?
Still at the front of the queue. And as I was eating them, I was saying, Crouchy's having his nachos. But that didn't happen, but... One, I wouldn't refer to myself in the third person. Two, I do like nachos, I do, and I'm partial to them at the cinema, but I wouldn't have pushed in.
You wouldn't push in?
I don't think so, and...
Hold on. Hold on, you're not certain, though, are you? I can see.
I don't think I would have. No,
I mean, maybe Crouchy did have his nachos.
But every day, not a day goes past where I don't get one tweet saying, are you having your nachos?
You know, I believe because of your height, you get asked the same thing when people come up to you. A lot of people ask you the same questions, is that right?
Yeah, I get the same questions pretty much every day. It's,
what are the most annoying ones?
Oh yeah, well, if you're going to ask, I carry cards. So you're about to ask me, when you look up at me, are you tall? I'm going to say, yes, I am tall. I'm going to answer all the questions
You've got, yes,
on this
I am
card.
tall. Well, read what's on the card first.
Yes, I am tall. Yes, I am 6'7". No, the weather isn't different up here. No, I don't play basketball. I'm so glad we had this conversation.
That's the real deal. That's amazing. I'm going to hold on to that. But you know, earlier on we were talking about the tallest man in Britain.
Yes.
And his name's Paul, and he has cards he gives out as well. And we have him here this evening. So I'd like you to welcome Paul Sturgis. Paul, if you'd like to come out, this would be a nice view to be looking at.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Good work.
All right, Peter. How are you?
Yeah, you're okay.
How you doing?
Okay. So, Paul... and Paul, I believe you have a card that
got
you
my
give
own
out.
card here.
You've got a card for Peter here. Would you read that out for us, please, Peter?
Yes, I'm 7'7". Yeah. Yes, I am significantly taller than Peter Crouch. Yes, the weather is different up here. Yes, you do play basketball.
Yeah.
Yes, I do have a suit that finally fits me.
Yeah. Paul Sturgis, ladies and gentlemen. Paul, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Paul. You can see that. That must be quite an unusual experience for you to be looking up to someone.
No, it's amazing, honestly. It really is.
Yeah.
Refreshing.
Well, you'll be pleased to know we've hired him for the night and he's going to go home with you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Peter Crouch. Thank you, Peter. That was great. Still to come on the show, we'll be chatting with Michaela Cole and Joe Lycett. See you after the break. So, ladies and gentlemen, my next guest is a brilliantly funny comedian, but now, surprisingly, I'm told he is also a celebrated artist. Let's find out as we meet Mr. Joe Lycett. Here he is.
Hello, darling. Hello.
How's that top? How's it?
Hello, darling.
So, Joe...
I brought you a painting.
No, this is what I want to ask about. So you're...
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. This is a painting that you've done.
Yes, so I spoke to your lovely producer on the telephone, and I'd had a couple of drinks before I spoke to her. And I said, oh, I'll do a painting of Jonathan. And she said, he'd love that. And then I thought, fuck.
Yeah. Well, before I showed them, because Grayson Perry took an interest in your art, didn't you? You had a piece of work in the Royal Academy summer exhibition.
Yeah, so every year they do an exhibition, and if you're an amateur artist... It's on the floor.
It's the one in the corner. It's not one of the nice paintings on the wall. It's...
No. He's called Chris, and I made it...
Wow.
I made it in Birmingham, my hometown. He's got a Pringles tube in the middle. It took me about 10 minutes.
So it's Pringle tube. What other medium is it in?
Clay and acrylic, darling.
OK, let's get this painting out of the way. I'm kind of dreading this. I've got no idea what it is. So this is...
This is a painting of you, John
it's
Ross.
Of me?
Yeah.
OK. What did you base it on? Was it memory, or did you have
No, I Googled you, and I found a picture of you with Britney Spears. But Britney Spears isn't... You've genuinely not seen this?
I haven't seen it. Here's the back of it.
Yes, that's right.
OK.
Do you love it? Is it your favourite piece of art you've ever seen?
I mean, I wouldn't say it was flattering, exactly. You know, the terrible thing is I can see it's me. That's what's the horrible thing. I mean, where would someone hang a picture of themselves like this?
I think it would go lovely here.
No, I really don't think we want it on the set.
Yeah, I think...
It matches your decor.
Don't say yes. I don't agree with that.
You could how can I get through here?
Where
You could hang it there on the BT Tower. There you go.
Oh, my God. OK. We'll leave it there, Joe.
Please keep it there for the rest of the series.
I think we will.
I'm really happy with him there.
Yeah, I'm glad someone is. OK, so... Joe's hosting a new one, and I was surprised to hear you were doing this, because I think of you as a kind of a after 9 o'clock comic. Your stuff, you're very funny, and I love seeing you on TV. I love seeing you live as well, but you're doing a tea time show for the BBC.
Yes.
OK.
Pre-Strictly. It'll be on before Strictly.
Wow.
It's a game show.
And it's called The Time It Takes.
Yeah.
And it sounds like, and I think you won't mind me saying this, it sounds like a very silly idea for a show.
It's really bonkers. It's essentially a quiz show where the contestants get to choose how long they have to answer the questions, but they choose timers that Alison Hammond has come up with off of this morning. And whilst that's happening, I'm asking general knowledge questions.
Wow. And you, as the host, are you kind and supportive when this is going on?
Yeah. I feel like on other quiz shows, so like Alexander Armstrong, when he's on Pointless, he's very nice to everyone.
Nice.
Very nice man, isn't he? I feel like that's been done.
Yeah.
So I'm, at times, quite hurtful to them.
OK, well, let's... I don't think you are in this case, but I think it's a good example of what you have in store for you. And this is going to be Saturday nights. It's called The Time It Takes. Have a look at this.
So, there's 20 plastic cups, and you just got to get them over with a party blower. I swear I have actually done this specific task before. Don't ask me why. Right, we invented this, so...
You're starting this position, and you have to just use the party blower to push them off.
You don't have any asthma or any respiratory conditions?
I do have asthma, yeah, but
Oh,
I'm
me
fine.
too, babe.
I did, yeah.
Do you have the blue one?
I do have the blue one.
I've got the blue one.
Yeah.
Do you know it? We should talk about it every coffee.
I think I'll be all right.
So... Now, I follow Joe on various of the social media platforms. You're very active on social media.
Oh, yeah, love it, yeah.
Are you at the stage yet where you get offered sponsorships, where you get asked to do things?
I got offered a teeth whitening thing, which I'm from Birmingham, so, like, if I had my teeth whitened, people would try and nick them. And it came direct on Instagram. They said, we love you, but they called me Joel, so I was like, I'm not sure you do love me. We'd love you to do, like, a kind of 6 months of posts about teeth whitening. So I was feeling a bit silly, so I went back to the woman who'd sent it and I said, oh, I love your company, I'm really all about teeth whitening. How much money have you got? And they said, oh, we've got quite a lot, there's a big budget for it, what's your rate? So I said my rate was 5. She said, could you clarify what you mean by 5? 'Cause it means nothing. 5 means nothing. So I said, oh, I've never had this queried. As a gesture of goodwill, I'll agree to 6. To which she said, can you clarify what you mean by 6? Do you mean £600? And I said, no, £6. And then she just stopped messaging.
Wow.
So the offer's there, right? £6.
Craig, how much did you get for your teeth whitening?
Oh, no, I got a toothbrush for free.
Did you?
Yes. Which was absolutely
And what
brilliant.
did you have to do? You have to do, like, a...
No, I just had to tweet how wonderful the toothbrush was, and actually was fantastic. I bought my boyfriend one.
I mean,
What's so different about it?
How can a toothbrush be that much better than another toothbrush? It's fairly basic technology.
It was an electric toothbrush, and it was absolutely fantastic. I don't know, it just felt better in my mouth.
Tell me more about this toothbrush, darling.
Darling, we can compare backstage after the show.
Wow.
I'm going to have sex with Craig Revel Hall.
Yeah. In the communal bath while Peter Crouch watches. It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be...
It's going to the communal bath story.
Joe's show, The Time It Takes, is on Saturday tea times, coming up in the Autumn Beach one. But it's very funny, but it's kind of hard to explain.
It is, yeah.
As
It's a cross between, like, Pointless and, like, The Taskmaster or something like that. It's sort of stupid task. It's really bonkers, but it's really good fun.
And I hope that you'll invite me on. I'll come on as a celebrity.
I would love you to do
And
it.
I'll give you that painting back. Ladies and gentlemen, the fabulous Mr. Joe Rycroft. Still to come on the show, I'll be chatting to Michaela Cole and Tom O'Dell performing for you after the break. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so excited that we have my next guest on. I'm a huge fan of hers. She's won 2 BAFTAs for the incredible series Chewing Gum, which she both wrote and starred in, and since then she's gone from strength to strength. Please welcome the fabulous Michaela Cole. Michaela, it's lovely to have you back on the show. You know I'm a big fan of yours. I hope you're watching. There's a show that Michaela's in at the moment on BBC 2 on Mondays at 9 p.m. called Black Earth Rising. Really powerful, a really great show. And that was filmed in Ghana, wasn't it?
Ghana, London and France.
OK, and so when you were out filming Ghana, did you get a chance to catch up? Because I think your family from there, aren't they?
Yeah,
Did you get a chance to
my
meet
dad
family?
was there, and, you know, it was kind of cool being, like, an adult with my dad. So now it was like, we're going to hang out, go for a drink. We danced. It was really nice.
Wow.
And I've got so much family just to see their faces.
And it must have been exciting for him to see you over there, and then you're making this big BBC, because it's, you know, to be in a big BBC drama like that, that's a kind of quite an honour, isn't it?
Yeah, he's very proud, so is my mum, and I'm kind of just still amazed that I got to be part of such a huge kind of show with real-life impact. It's about what's happening now, and so to be part of that was... It's crazy.
So I know you were enjoying working on that, and your mum, when you came on the show last time, I think your mum was here.
She's still here. She's here again.
So your mum's in the house tonight again?
Yes.
Where's Mum?
I don't know. If you see a green wig, it's probably her. No? Oh, it's not green today. Oh, you've got the red one. She looks great, doesn't she?
Yeah, she looks lovely. Lovely to see you again, Mum. Thank you for coming on.
Mama, yes! Okay. She steals all my wigs.
And
I used to wear a lot of wigs, and basically it's like, there's like a... My mum adopts all of my old wigs.
Wow.
And she kind of, like, remixes them a little bit. She'll, like, finesse the wig a little bit. You look good, Mum.
no, you don't still live at home, though? You're not with your mum?
No, still in a house share with Ash, who's also here. He was here last time as well.
Yeah, no, so how did you get into a house share? You're not a couple? You're not living together?
No. The first one, we were in a 4-bed, spareroom.com. .com or .co.uk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I just met him on Skype.
Okay.
And then I think maybe 4 days into moving in, he was here. Because I was like, I'm going on the Jonathan Ross show. Get used to it. So they've adjusted to my... It's quite weird.
So you haven't bought a place yet, though? You haven't decided to settle down and buy a place yet?
No, I quite like being able to move.
Flit around, I guess. Because, Joe, you were saying you've just bought a house. This is your first house, I guess.
Yes, in Birmingham, because I can't afford in London, because I don't want to live in a disabled toilet.
Peter, what was your first house like? Where were you?
I played for QPR when I was 19, so I still lived at home. I grew up in Ealing. But then I moved to Portsmouth, and that's when I bought my first house. It was lovely. First thing I bought was a blow-up goal. And I used to take penalties.
Holy, that was what you had indoors?
I had an indoor blow-up goal and a blow-up chair and a bed.
A goal? I thought you said goal.
Oh, no,
The Strictly people are horrified. Yeah. Absolutely horrified.
It goes on that show.
But you must have thought, we all just thought that was fine.
I think it didn't hear right. Yeah.
No, I generally had a bed, I had a blow-up couch, and I had a blow-up goal.
And did you have sex with the goal?
I lived on my own for about 2 years, so...
That's a yes,
quite
then.
possibly.
So, Michaela, I'm sorry about that. I didn't know we were going to go quite down that rabbit hole. I love the... I've seen it in advance. It's not out to the 26th. There's a musical, which is going to be on Netflix, starring Michaela, called Been So Long. And it was... I loved it. It was very refreshing. It felt very different. How would you describe it?
It's, I guess, a musical. It's quite a low budget. It's working class Camden. And I guess it's about people that build barriers and guards. My character, Simone, has this kind of facade of impenetrable independence, and it's because she doesn't have love, but that same guard stops love coming in, and it's just about people being willing to risk being hurt for
And
love.
she's a single mum as well, so I guess she's protecting what she has there as well.
Yeah, single mum, and from quite, the history of how she ended up a single mum isn't very pretty either, so there's many reasons for her to have this kind of...
And you sing in it beautifully, and I didn't know that you... Were you trained as a singer?
No, and that was one of the things when I was offered the job. I said, have you listened to me sing? Because you should. And they were like, oh, yeah, we saw YouTube videos. And I was like, that was 2009. That was a long time ago.
So you didn't think maybe you would be up to the top?
No, it was like... and actually, my voice, they liked it, and so I forced them to listen to me sing. And they were like, yeah, it's fine. They kind of like... It sounds kind of broken, and it kind of is part of the character.
It sounds beautiful.
Thank
And
you.
we have it, and you'll see, this is the trailer for it, and you'll see Michaela singing this, and I think you'll agree with me. This is Been So Long, and it's available on Netflix from the 26th of October. Look at this.
Build a facade, raise no alarm, hiding your face from the dead.
We are going out.
'Cause I'm tough, so tough. That is all you can see.
Raymond.
Simone. It's funny how you can feel so lonely.
You're very handsome. You're freaking gorgeous.
Thank you. I don't know who I am.
Hello.
Who's this?
I'm your mum's mate.
Okay.
Mate is in
Thank
friend,
you,
not
thanks,
not
Liz.
me.
Good to see you. Okay, see you. Take care.
Bye.
You've got Been So Long is on 26th of October on Netflix,
Yes.
and it's really a breath of fresh air. If you love musicals, you love it, but it felt so real to me and so connected
And
to the modern
I do
world.
dance a little bit in the show.
Well,
Just letting
that's
you
what I
know.
want to ask you, because you
Yeah.
you danced very well when you were young, I believe, in a
Oh, not
specific...
very well. I danced... Well, I was in my first experience of dancing was the Irish dance team in my secondary school.
Now, see, this surprises me, that you were in an Irish dance team.
It surprised my entire school.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like only Irish people were in the Irish dance team. Yeah. And then suddenly I would just start going along every Tuesday night. And everyone was like, Michaela, what are you doing? And then we had the talent show in June. And I was like, yeah, bitches, I'm going to dance in my row. And I danced in the middle of the row. And the whole crowd were in uproar. I think that's the proudest performance I've ever given.
Wow.
I was like, yeah, I told you I'd smash it.
Yeah. I wish we had some footage of that.
Sorry.
But you don't... You haven't kept up with the Irish dancing?
Sadly not. I
No.
feel like it's just somewhere in me, though.
But you never trained as a dancer outside of that?
No, I was in a Christian dance group for a little bit.
And what sort of dancing is that, then? No
like
touching?
contemporary street dance, no touching.
Yeah, yeah. That's what all these guys need to do on their show.
Yeah, but you're fantastic. I totally binged watched last night the entire 2 series of Touring Girl, and I cannot believe that I'm actually sat on the sofa with you. I think you're absolutely incredible. Not only that, you can dance, you're a natural, and you totally get into that contemporary thing. I would love to see you on Strictly Come
never
Dancing.
seen...
I would love it.
I've never seen Craig suck up to someone like that before. Michaela, thank you so much for coming on. And before we wrap up this part of the show, of course, we've got Shirley here, who is not just one of the finest Latin dancers this country's produced, but also a teacher as well.
Yes.
You've taught. Yeah. And I know we've discussed whether or not Peter would ever be on Strictly, but I thought maybe now might be a good time for us to see just whether he's got what it takes. So, Peter, I know I haven't asked you. So, Shirley, do you think you could teach Peter a couple of basic Latin moves?
Sure.
Ooh, yeah.
I didn't sign up for this.
Can we all... So really, you should have your frame up, but since you're so big, it's going to have to come down.
I'm really aroused right now.
You never use the same foot twice.
Oh, OK.
And you're going to go to the side on your right foot on the count of 1.
So just like this?
1.
Yes.
Now step forward towards me.
Yes.
2. Now replace. 3. Now 3 little steps to the side. Cha-cha-cha. Cha, cha, cha. Never use the same foot twice. Pay attention, pay attention. Step back on that foot.
I'm so nervous.
Back, replace. 3 steps. Cha, cha, cha. Side together, side. Forward on this foot again. Forward, replace. 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. Yay!
Yeah. OK, pretty good. Let's do that with a bit of music. OK, we're going to do that with a bit of music. Ladies and gentlemen, this is officially Peter Crouch's Strictly audition tape going on right now. Here we go.
OK, I'm loose. All right, I'm loose.
Loosen up.
Oh, here we go.
This is it. This is what I'm talking about. It's the curse of Strictly. It's the curse of Strictly. Get up. Stop it. Stop it. I will not have infidelity on my show. It's amazing.
I couldn't do the cha-cha, so I just tried something else.
Crouch, I tell you,
Thank you.
from here, it was like watching a spider going crazy. I mean, it's amazing. But you've got the moves, Crouch.
He's got some moves.
He's got some moves.
That was impressive.
Thank you.
Theresa May, is it you?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's say thank you for that display to both Shirley and Peter Crouch. Thanks to all my guests tonight. We'll be back next week, but now, singing Half As Good As You with Ray Morris, it is Mr. Tom O'Dell.
I'm sick to death of eating breakfast on my own, starting out my daily blues. I'm sick to death of spilling coffee on my phone, scrolling through pictures of you. I'd like to say that maybe we could work it out, but I know that it's no use. If I ever found anyone half as good as you, I think maybe that would do.
I kissed a stranger in the hallway late last night. He
I learned the lyrics yesterday to all your songs, but there was one I couldn't do. I think the lyric went,
You miss me when I'm gone.
but the chords I was confused.